interviewing a guy who is at the homeless encampment, who is giving them a perspective from the homeless encampment. I want you to hear what he has to say regarding, I thought it was very insightful regarding the housing situation.
Go to living expenses. Does the city need to provide more housing?
But who can afford $1,500 a month for a box? That's sad. That doesn't coincide their Social Security or whatever they're getting, for help.
According to Home for Everyone and data from Multifamily Northwest, since early 2015 alone, rents in our community have risen much faster than the median income to nearly $1,400 a month for a one-bedroom apartment in Portland. Meanwhile, more than 21,000 people in Multnomah County rely on federal disability checks that top out at $794 a month. The man was working alongside Terrence Moses, who runs Neighbors Helping Neighbors. Through donations to his nonprofit, Terrence cleans up camps and tries to help people living on the fringe.
What you should really know is that a lot of our houseless neighbors aren't here by choice. And yes, there's a segment of them that are here by choice. And the stigma of dehumanizing them, what other folks don't know about it is that it's very hurtful and traumatizing to an already traumatic.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. This is a great guy. Now, in Portland there, that you saw that disability figure of 749, the rents of 1400. A lot of major metro areas, the rent for a one-bedroom apartment is double that. So the point being made here is many of these people are being displaced out of these apartments for any number of reasons, but let's say a very common reason for falling into poverty in the United States is unexpected medical expenses. Excuse me. Now, these people are on disability. They have a fixed income. When the rents go up that high, and they have an emergency that taps them out monetarily, they get thrown out of their apartment. What are they to do when their income is fixed at $700 and some dollars a month? Or the same could be said for Social Security dependent, someone who's over the age of 65, who is living off Social Security, who has a financial or medical emergency and is thrown out of his apartment for not making rent. If the rents are, $1,400 a month in Portland for a one bedroom, and you're getting $1,200 a month in Social Security, how are you going to get off the street? Um, so let's just take a look at one international. Well, this is one solution that might work, but people should understand what these people are facing. And this talk of dehumanizing the homeless, and I just saw a recent blurb. I'm not sure of the state, where the governor said he's passing a law that uh, if the people on the street refuse help, that they're going to be arrested or some such thing. Anyway, this is the movement, but the trend. I can't say that that's accurate, but that is the trend. But the point is, let's just narrow this down to people who are on these fixed incomes that are either disabled or on Social Security, elderly, who are on the street. What are they to do? What can they do? And again, there are, people say there are programs. There's a hodge. I know in the major metro area I live in, they disband these homeless camps, which this gentleman is helping to do. And it's odd that first guy said at least they could supply trash cans for the homeless camps. Then there wouldn't be that much trash around. Very logical. But anyway, the point is, they disband these homeless encampments, and you think that these people are going to be given homes. They're not given homes. They're given 30-day vouchers to stay in a motel. They're given, these limited time housing, interim housing requirements. And these local municipal and state agencies are so inefficient that many of these people just end up back on the street 30 days later. I think that's why we need a national program. But anyway, I'm getting off point here. Let's just talk about the people that are on disability and Social Security that have fixed incomes that have ended up on the street. Let's not even discuss why. Who cares why? They're there. How are they going to get off the street when they're getting, half of what the rent is when you got to produce first month, last month, and security deposit? So for a $1,500 apartment, you got to produce $4,500 to get in the door. Let's just take a look at what one, and this is a United Nations program, has come up with as a possible solution for this. Hi, this is mxux. Now, this is a spot on a UN program with the impact on COVID-19 impact on developing countries. And I would submit to you that our poverty nation, sub-nation in America is a developing country, as much as any other second or third world country. And we have people living below the poverty line, pushed into extreme poverty, as I've mentioned in the other videos I've done, and also children affected here by school closures, but in other events by homelessness. Uh, so let's just hear what they have to say. And this is some very clear thinking, directed thinking on this problem and on the problem we're facing in the United States. And this is just a brainstorming session here, really, on one of the ways we can start to address the homeless problem in the United States. Let's just give a listen to this uh, well-informed UN operative here.
How does this all be paid for? Could you talk a little bit more about that? Does this mean a little bit more about that modern monetary theory?
What they're talking about is a 6-month limited program to give people a guaranteed minimum income that would allow them to pull their socks up, uh, give them enough money in hand to get into an apartment on their own and to coordinate these other government help methods that would help them pay their rent and so forth. This, you know, twisted, tangled Gordian knot of local, municipal, and state programs, which we need a government federal program for, in my opinion. But they're talking about a 6-month guaranteed minimal income. And again, in the United States, in our developing subculture, which is a third world or a second world culture, these people have been found themselves thrust into. This could be directed at uh, families with children, or people who are disabled, or people who are over the age of 65. We could start at the edges and work towards the middle on the problem. But let's just give a listen to what she has to say.
Theory here, where you're basically running budget deficits far bigger than what is traditionally accepted.
I think, both in North.
Now that's going to be the argument against this. Oh, it's going to add to the deficit. But let's listen to what she has to say.
Southeast West, we realized that the fiscal constraints that we had put on ourselves for a long time, that orthodoxy is really thinning out, and people are realizing that you've got to allow for more fiscal space in a lot of these countries, particularly in countries still developing and really finding their new growth trajectory. So it's often not only a case of fiscal means, it's a case of fiscal choice. And we've got to ask where governments are putting the money, including in the new fiscal stimulus packages. So for UNDP, and we're very clear that the cost of a temporary basic income done now will alleviate a much, much larger cost down the road. Now, what some of our diagnostics are showing is that we had been looking at this as the poor, the very poor, and those just above the poverty line. What some countries are looking at their data again and saying, there's a middle class that has been really hit also by this virus, and usually because they're out of work. And the minute the jobs stop, then you've got a group that's in a very vulnerable category that I think was more surprising for all of us to see that group also may need a temporary basic income to tide them over. But
Okay, so that's basically the idea here is a temporary basic income, and she's talking there. If we were to put it in the context of our field of view, about people who are on the borderline of a poverty level that would make them lose their home, and what she is saying is we have to expand our thinking, physical thinking, and break down these barriers and say, you know what, it this is going to help. Forget the deficits, forget the cost. This is an effective means of solving or taking a step at solving this problem, and I think that's great. And I think this is a great idea, and I think this is something maybe the United States should take a look at again for our near homeless populations. And let's just start immediately with the disabled and the people on fixed incomes, the Social Security people, and families that are homeless. Let's provide them with a basic income and give them direction and allow them. And I believe she mentions a 6 month guaranteed minimum income. Allow them to get an apartment, get a phone, get the internet, get the services they need, give them that helping hand up. And I think that this is a great idea. And I think this is a more efficient use of cash in these programs. Like I said, I don't know if it was Los Angeles or California got $12 billion to provide homeless housing, housing units. They built 0 units. That money would have been better spent given as direct basic income to these individuals, and to work with them to get off the street, to get up and out. Anyway, I think this was an interesting topic. I think she talks about expanding our physical space, our mind space, about what we can include in a budget, about dropping these barriers that we've had, about the deficit and the costs. And it's not about that, it's about the human cost. Anyway, I thought that these were a couple of great videos. I didn't want to play too long on this because I don't want the video to be too long. But I'm going to put the links in the description. I hope you liked the video, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm going to put a clip at the end of this for contact information for the White House. And I'd ask all you guys to call the White House uh, and tell them that we need a national program to address the poverty in the United States that's resulting in people losing their homes. I don't think we should use the word homeless anymore. Homelessness is a condition. The cause of the homelessness is poverty. All right, thanks. This is MXUX. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Have a safe and happy holiday. Hi, this is MXUX. This is the contact page for the White House. And I've just completed a contact here. So let's go back to the contact us page. Here it is. Now this is. I'll put a link. I'll put a graphic up on the screen. Also, a link in the comments to this. It's www.whitehouse.gov/contact. And after Thanksgiving dinner, sit down and write the president an email. And this is the contact page. If you have Chrome or any other browser, the autofill will fill most of this out. It's no big deal. And you want to uncheck this so you don't get junk mail from the post office. And I have prepared a sample message. I want to rescind the End Welfare as We Know It program instituted by Bill Clinton, which handed funding and control of poverty assistance to the states. We need a new federal program to help the poor. mxux has a video on YouTube about this. Please watch it. That's supposed to be thank you, Mr. President. And again, uncheck this so you don't get any. I already posted to this. I'm not going to send again. You don't have to include the mxux video on it if you don't want to. I just want everybody to know all my videos on homelessness aren't monetized, and if they ever do become monetized, that money is going to be donated. So, this is mxux after Thanksgiving dinner, whitehouse.gov/contact. Take 3 minutes. It's not even hard. You can help somebody on Thanksgiving. mxux, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching.